Hey, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jamie Kindred. I am the Community Programs and Projects Coordinator for the City of Hondo. Welcome to Get to Know Hondo. This is our first in a series of videos that we'll be bringing to you every fourth Tuesday of the month at noon, so you can enjoy your lunch with us. It is an honor for me today to have our very first guest, Mayor Jim Danner, with us today. Good morning, or good afternoon.
Good morning. Good afternoon. Everybody.
It's lunchtime.
All right.
So we should all be having a wonderful lunch. We hope that you're having a wonderful lunch. Well, let's get started. Tell us just a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm been mayor of the city of Hondo since February 2005. A very interesting way to become the mayor of Hondo. As most of the people out here know, that Mayor Fisher, who was a very fine mayor of our community, passed away in December of 2004. And we were without a mayor for a few months. And city council decided that none of them wanted to be the mayor.
Uh-huh.
So I had been pretty heavily involved in economic development in the community, and so they called me and asked me if I'd be willing to be appointed to the position for the term that would end in May.
Mm-hmm.
And after a lot of thought, talking to my wife and pondering about it, I decided I would. And then in May of 2005, I went ahead and ran for mayor and was elected for the first time.
Yes. So how many times has it been since then? How often do we have those elections?
Well, it's changed many times
Oh.
over the years because of changes in our charter. That's why I'm still mayor, because right now we have a three-year term, and at the end of that time you have to be out because of term limits. So this changed over the years, and I just happen to be grandfathered over each charter amendment, and that's why I'm still here on my last term, which ends in 2022.
Oh. Well, it has definitely been a blessing having you as our mayor, for sure. Tell me a little bit about what you did before becoming mayor.
Well, I was in the banking business for right at 50 years.
Oh, wow.
And at the time I was appointed mayor, I was president of the Hondo National Bank, and had been there since 1993. So I'd been there some years before.
Yeah.
And so I had some experience in community affairs and economic development and that type of thing.
So is that when you moved to Hondo, when you became president of the
Yes,
bank
in 93.
Where were you before that?
I was in Carrizo Springs for around 15 years ago. I've been a chief executive of banks during that period of time for the last probably 30 years. So I was fortunate to be offered the position in Hondo at a bank that was struggling quite a bit at the time. But we love Hondo. My wife says we're going to die here.
This is where you're staying.
This is where I'm staying, and so I'm just happy to be able to serve the community in any way I can.
Well, we are certainly happy to have you serving our community for as long as you have been, for sure. I think I speak for a lot of us when I say it really has been a blessing having you as our mayor. In the past several years alone, we have seen so much growth and so many wonderful things happening, and I know that's all attributed to you and the council and, of course, our city manager, and, of course, all of our city employees as well. It takes a whole team, right?
We have a fantastic group of employees, all the way from the city manager all the way down to the street people and all that. They do a great job, but they're very committed to our community, and you can tell it in the work they do. So I'm very proud to be their political leader.
Sure. So tell me a little bit about what you do when you're not mayoring. What does Jim Danner do at home on the weekends?
Well, I'm a member of a church in Divine, which I'm very active. I'm congregation chairman and very involved in that. I like to read. I like to watch TV. I like to be with my wife, so we stay fairly quiet over the weekends.
Yeah.
But during the week, I spend probably 3 or 4 hours a day as mayor, and what I like about being mayor is I don't have to do anything when I get up in the morning. but unless people like you get me set up for an appointment, but it's a pleasure to serve. It's had its ups and downs.
Sure.
We've had some tough times and some good times, but
Yep.
but when you look at our training center and our airport terminal and our library and all these things, it's been quite a good ride.
It really has. It definitely has. So what are some challenging things? What do you find most challenging about being mayor? And on the flip side of that, what do you find most rewarding?
Well, the challenging thing to me is always projects.
Sure.
I always like to get involved in projects that improve the community, and there's challenging times in that as you go to grants or new buildings or this, that, and the other. I find it very challenging politically, dealing with the legislators, both state and county, state, and federal, and here lately we haven't been given a very good situation with the state government because they're taking away a lot of the city powers, and especially during COVID, which hurt us quite a bit. So, but I try to stay very close to the people that represent us in Austin and in Washington.
Yeah. Very confusing times, I'm sure, politically, as far as keeping everyone safe, and then everything trickles down from the state. At the bottom of it, I guess, is Dillon's rule, where regardless if you are ruled by the county or the city municipality, Dillon's rule from the state comes down, and that's the ultimate.
Well, it is.
It
is. You know, of course, we have a home rule charter, which we also put in about the time I became mayor, and it's been a blessing to us to be able to make our own rules.
Yes.
In many cases, of course, we still have to follow some state rules, but
That's right.
we're able to set our own rules, like council terms and things like that. You know, and we've been able to mold the city to what we want it to be, and it's been very effective.
What's been your favorite project so far?
A training center.
Yeah.
Always.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, that started way back in, 10 or 12 years ago, I guess. And some people in our community remember old dance hall out there.
That's
that
exactly right.
Now
I think we called it the Blue Elephant. Does anybody remember?
Well, you know, Selena actually performed there
Yes.
once, but it was just an old barn, really. And we were able, with the help of the county, and some grants, to go ahead and make it into the building it is today. And we're able to provide training to high school students and adults in the medical field, in the welding field, or air conditioning field.
Yes.
And
Good trades.
and we have some other trades coming up that we'll be able to get involved in, and even looking at, believe it or not, maybe a extension of the old training center and making it a larger building.
Well, that's amazing. Any new projects on the horizon that you're excited about?
Well, we're still kind of in infant stage on our welding and air conditioning and our new annex, because it's built for industrial type education.
Sure.
And so we're looking at maybe what other trades we can develop there. And of course, the medical field is just, you know, expanding like mad. And in surveys we've done, we found that most of the kids here, high schoolers and all, are talking about going into the medical field. And other than cosmetology, which we haven't decided not to try to teach, but we're trying to mold our training center into an area training center that can entice students from Bandera and Pearsall and Devine and all around to take advantage of a very short distance to receive some of the training that we can offer. We already have academic training also out there from Southwest Texas Junior College, and it's been there ever since we got the center open.
Yeah, it actually has been there a long time. I don't know exactly how long, but it's been quite a while.
Since the beginning, really, because we started more in that regard than we did vocational. And the thing that is challenging to me is why more of the parents here don't have their kids take some of their preliminary courses out here instead of going into San Antonio or going to Austin or College Station or whatever. Be much less expensive, but you know, the kids really kind of direct that route that they take.
Maybe some of those kids just really want to get away from home for a minute or two.
And it's the glory of going, to a big college.
I guess so.
But we can offer just about anything like that
Yes.
here. A lot of it in distance learning.
Yes, and really, it's a smart choice.
Mm-hmm.
When you shuck it all down, that's the smartest thing to do, honestly. I think that the majority, maybe, of 17 and 18 and maybe 19-year-olds going off to college aren't always thinking about the smartest thing to do. But it really is. For people like me who are going back to school, it's definitely the smartest thing for sure.
But several years back, Concordia University out of Austin came in and educated many of our own educators here to where they get their masters and that type of thing, and a lot of our teachers took advantage of that right here at home.
Yep. Super smart thing to do for sure. And I love the direction that the training center is going and all of the new pieces going into it. That's a project that I'm excited to see grow over the next several years.
Well, for a challenge for the community is job creation and housing. As our two main, and they kind of go together, and which comes first,
Yeah.
You to bring industry in and all, you really kind of need housing, but you also need to have the workforce that can provide employees to them. And so our next probably biggest challenge is housing.
Yes.
Hoping some people come in and start building some reasonably priced homes and that type of thing. So.
And I know in our master plan that I've looked at before, there are some interesting things down the road. That remains to be seen, and it all looks very exciting and wonderful to me. And I know that anyone who's looked at that is anxious about that as well. Super fun stuff.
It is, but it takes money.
That's exactly right.
And,
now you sound like my husband. Everything takes money.
Everything takes money, unfortunately, and
Yeah.
But we're very good at getting grants and that type of thing. So a lot of these things will be possible.
Yes, and there are really so many grants out there to be had, and it takes our incredible staff just to find them and then apply for them.
Well, the COVID situation has created a lot of monies that can flow down to the cities, and but we have to prepare the proper grant information to get those grants for what we want to use them for. And again, we have several members of our city staff that are writing grants and doing a great job.
Yep, it is wonderful. Last question. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? I know that you're retiring in 2022. What do you see yourself doing? What's on your bucket list?
Well, we like to travel.
Yes.
And we've taken just about every cruise there is, but here the last couple of years we haven't, of course, because of the COVID.
Yeah.
May do some more traveling. Kind of want to retire for the second time.
Yeah.
I retired from the bank in 2007, and so I kind of want to maybe retire again.
Well, I hope that you do have a chance to travel, and then I hope you take lots of pictures. I don't know, Mayor. I thought you would want to skydive or something. I have this cool visual of you jumping out of a perfectly good airplane and skydiving. No, not on your list.
I'm not a George Bush. I'm
No.
not going to try to plan on that.
Well, that's not on my list either, but I thought that might be something that you want to do. That's one way to see the world, right, is to jump out of a plane.
I expect to get extremely bored.
Really?
But, it's because of being mayor keeps me going and keeps my mind working pretty well.
Definitely.
So, anyway, we'll see what happens.
All right. Well, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. It has been a pleasure sitting with you and just getting to know you personally a little bit. I hope that we have a chance to visit again in the future. Thank you all for spending your lunchtime with us. We'll see you again on Get to Know Hondo, 4th Tuesday of every month. See you guys. Have a great, wonderful day.